The rain came down in sheets that night, blurring the mountains and washing the dirt road into a river of mud. The wind howled through the lonely valley of Willow Creek, rattling the windows of a small, half-broken cabin at the edge of town. Inside, a young woman named Clara Dawson sat close to the wood stove, clutching her thin shawl around her shoulders. The fire crackled weakly, almost as weak as the hope she'd been holding onto for years. Life had not been kind to Clara. After her parents' passing, she worked tirelessly at the diner, saving every coin she could, dreaming one day she might fix the roof that leaked whenever it rained. Yet tonight, she had only half a loaf of bread left and just enough wood to last till morning. Still, Clara's heart was full of kindness, a light that hardship had never managed to dim. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Loud. Urgent. She froze. Out here, miles from town, no one ever came by this late. Carefully, she unlatched the door, and her eyes widened at the sight before her, a tall man, drenched to the bone, holding a little girl wrapped in his coat. "Ma'am," he said in a deep, rough voice, his breath visible in the cold air. "I'm sorry to trouble you. My truck broke down on the road, and the storm caught us. We just need a place to stay till morning." Clara hesitated only a second before nodding. "Come in, please. The storm's too harsh for a child." The man's eyes softened in relief. He carried his daughter inside, placing her gently near the fire. The little girl, no older than 7, looked at Clara with wide, curious eyes. "Thank you, miss," she whispered. Clara smiled. "You're safe now, sweetheart." The man introduced himself as Luke Harris, a rancher passing through from Montana. He looked exhausted, his boots muddy, his hat dripping. There was something quiet and steady about him, a strength that came from years of hard work, yet a sadness in his gaze he tried to hide. Clara offered what little she had: bread, soup made from potatoes, and a worn blanket. Luke tried to refuse, but his stomach growled before he could finish his sentence. They laughed, breaking the ice. As the storm raged on outside, they sat near the fire, and little Emma, Luke's daughter, soon fell asleep in her father's lap. Clara watched the tenderness in his eyes as he brushed a strand of hair from the girl's face. "You love her very much," Clara said softly. "She's all I've got left," Luke replied. His voice carried a quiet pain. "Lost my wife 2 years ago. Since then, it's just been me and her, trying to find a place where we both belong." Something in Clara's chest tightened. She knew that feeling all too well, being lost, yet still holding on for the ones you love. Later that night, while Emma slept, Clara and Luke talked for hours. She told him about her parents, about working long shifts at the diner, and about her dreams of someday owning a small bakery where everyone could feel at home. Luke listened with genuine interest, his eyes studying her not as a stranger but as someone whose soul carried the same scars as his own. By dawn, the storm had cleared, painting the valley in gold. Luke fixed the truck's engine with Clara's old tools, and soon it was time for him and Emma to leave. Before he left, he looked at Clara and said, "You've got a good heart, Clara. The kind this world doesn't see enough of. I won't forget your kindness." Clara smiled, brushing a lock of hair behind her ear. "You don't owe me anything, Mr. Harris. Just get that little girl home safe." And with that, they drove away, leaving behind muddy tracks and a strange emptiness in Clara's heart. Weeks passed. Life returned to its quiet rhythm: work, cold nights, and the sound of the wind howling through the gaps in her roof. Yet, sometimes, Clara would look out at the road and wonder if Luke and Emma ever made it home. Then, one crisp morning, a black truck pulled into her yard. Clara stepped out, her heart racing as Luke climbed down, this time dressed not in dusty work clothes, but in a clean, tailored coat. Behind him stood Emma, holding a bouquet of wildflowers. "Luke," Clara whispered, stunned. He smiled. "Actually, it's Luke Harris, owner of the Harris Cattle Empire. I came back because there's something I need to tell you." Clara's jaw dropped. She remembered stories about the Harris Ranch, one of the biggest in the state, known for its herds, its wealth, its power. But she couldn't connect that image with the humble, kind man who had sat by her fire that stormy night. "I didn't tell you who I was," Luke continued, stepping closer. "Because I wanted to see how people treated a man when they thought he had nothing. You didn't hesitate to help a stranger, even when you had almost nothing yourself. That kind of heart, money can't buy." He reached into his coat and handed her a letter. "I bought the old bakery building in town. It's yours now. Fully stocked and ready to open. Consider it a thank you from me and Emma. Tears welled in Clara's eyes. Luke, I can't accept this. He interrupted gently, taking her hand. You already did enough just by being who you are. Emma ran to Clara and hugged her tightly. Daddy says you're the nicest lady in the world. Clara knelt and hugged the little girl back, her heart full. For the first time in years, she felt seen, not as a poor girl or a struggling worker, but as someone who mattered. Over time, Luke and Clara's paths intertwined again and again. She opened her bakery, which quickly became the heart of Willow Creek, while Luke visited often, always finding reasons to stay longer each time. Eventually, what began as gratitude blossomed into love, a gentle, unspoken connection that grew stronger with each passing day. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Luke took her hand and said, "That night, I thought you saved us from the storm. But truth is, Clara, you saved my heart." And under the golden light of the setting sun, surrounded by the laughter of a little girl and the scent of freshly baked bread, the poor girl who once had nothing realized she had found everything she'd ever needed. Moral: kindness doesn't wait for wealth, it creates it. What you give with a pure heart often returns to you in ways beyond imagination.